Welcome to Lullaby Stories, a gentle haven where the soft whispers of the past and the quiet beauty of history carry you into calm, peaceful moments. Sit back, relax, and let each story unfold around you like a soothing breeze. If you find comfort and peace in these tales, your like and subscribe warmly help keep this serene journey alive, inviting more gentle stories into the world.
Dreams of Tenochtitlan, a 5-chapter bedtime story. A gentle journey through the peaceful world of ancient Aztec daily life. Chapter 1. Arrival at the floating gardens under twilight's gentle embrace. You find yourself stepping carefully into a wooden canoe as the evening sun casts golden ripples across Lake Texcoco. The water laps softly against the sides of your boat, gentle, rhythmic, like a heartbeat slowing down. Your paddle dips silently into the calm water, creating small circles that spread outward, disappearing into the vastness of the lake. Around you, the Chinampas stretch in perfect rows. These floating gardens that feed the great city of Tenochtitlan. The air smells of rich earth and flowering beans, and the sweet scent of marigold petals floating on the water's surface. You breathe deeply, letting the humid warmth fill your lungs as your canoe glides between the raised garden beds. Willow trees drape their long branches into the water, creating gentle curtains of green that rustle softly in the evening breeze. The sound is like whispered lullabies, ancient and soothing, carried across generations of peaceful evenings just like this one. On the Chinampas, you see the last workers of the day, moving slowly among the crops. Their cotton mantles, dyed deep blue with precious indigo, flutter gently as they tend to rows of amaranth. Its burgundy flowers, heavy with seeds that will become tomorrow's bread. The water beneath your canoe is clear, so clear you can see fish swimming lazily among the roots of water hyacinths. These purple flowers bob on the surface, their petals catching the last golden rays of sunlight, transforming them into pools of amber light. Your paddle moves without effort now, as if the lake itself is guiding you toward a small island where cypress trees stand like gentle guardians. Their bark is rough and warm under your touch, and you can smell their woody sweetness mixing with the floral perfumes of the floating gardens. A great blue heron stands motionless in the shallows, its reflection perfect in the still water. It watches you with calm, ancient eyes, as if it has seen countless travelers like you, all seeking the same peaceful refuge that these waters provide. The Chinampas around you are thick with growing things, tomato vines heavy with small red fruits, bean plants twisting upward on their support poles, squash flowers opening their golden petals to catch the last insects of the day. Everything growing in perfect harmony, just as it has for hundreds of years. You can hear the soft splash of other canoes in the distance, fishermen returning home with their nets full of small white fish, the kind that will be dried and salted for the markets of Tenochtitlan. Their voices carry across the water, but softly, like distant music. The sun sinks lower, painting the sky in shades of coral and gold, colors that reflect in the still water, doubling the beauty, creating a world that exists both above and below, connected by the gentle surface of Lake Texcoco. Your canoe drifts toward a small dock, woven from reeds and bound with strong maguey fiber. You can feel the rough texture of the rope under your fingers as you tie your boat to the wooden posts. each movement slow, deliberate, peaceful. On the shore, a small fire burns in a clay brazier. Its orange flames dance quietly, casting warm light on the faces of an elderly couple, sharing their evening meal of tortillas and beans. They nod to you with gentle smiles, welcoming, as if you belong here, in this place of eternal calm. The woman wears a huipil, a traditional dress woven with patterns of water birds and flowering vines. The threads shimmer slightly in the firelight, indigo blue and cochineal red, colors drawn from the insects and plants of this very lake. Her jewelry is simple, small jade beads that catch the light like drops of green water. The man beside her has skin weathered by years of sun and wind, but his eyes are peaceful, content. He offers you a cup of atole, the warm corn drink sweetened with honey from the beehives hidden among the Chinampas. The clay cup is warm in your hands, and the drink slides down your throat like liquid comfort. You settle onto a woven reed mat beside them, feeling the soft fibers beneath you, still holding the warmth of the day's sun. The fire crackles gently, occasionally sending small sparks upward into the darkening sky, where the first stars are beginning to appear. In the distance, across the lake, you can see the great pyramids of Tenochtitlan, their stone steps glowing softly in the twilight. The temple mayor rises above all others, its twin stairs leading upward toward the stars. But from here, it looks peaceful, majestic, like a mountain made by human hands. The old woman begins to hum, a melody that seems to come from the water itself, ancient and flowing. Her voice blends with the gentle lapping of waves against the Chinampa walls, creating a symphony of perfect peace. Around the fire, other families have gathered for their evening meals. Children play quietly with small clay toys, their laughter soft and distant. Parents speak in hushed tones, sharing the gentle gossip of the day. Who planted what? Which flowers bloomed? How the fish were running? The scent of cooking food drifts across the water. Tortillas warming on clay griddles, beans simmering with epazote leaves, chilies roasting until their skins blister and sweeten. These are the smells of home, of safety, of abundance from the generous earth. You close your eyes and listen to the symphony of this peaceful place. Water lapping against wood and stone, weeds rustling in the evening breeze, the distant call of a night heron, the soft conversation of families sharing their evening meal. A gentle hand touches your shoulder. The old woman offers you a tortilla, still warm from the fire, spread with beans and sprinkled with ground pumpkin seeds. The food tastes of earth and sunshine, of the careful tending of generations, each bite slow and savoring, like meditation. The fire burns lower now, its flames dancing more quietly, casting softer shadows. The old man adds another piece of wood, carefully, preserving the gentle warmth that will carry through the cool hours of night. Stars emerge one by one in the darkening sky, the same stars that guided the first builders of Tenochtitlan, that watched over countless generations of farmers and fishermen, gardeners and craftsmen. Each star a point of constancy in the ever-changing world. You feel your breathing slow, matching the rhythm of the water, the rhythm of the fire, the rhythm of this ancient, peaceful place. your muscles relax, tension flowing out of you like water. Absorbed by the reed mat, carried away by the gentle current of the lake, the old woman's humming grows softer, more distant, like a lullaby from another world. The melody weaves around you, through you, becoming part of the evening's gentle symphony, a sound that speaks of safety, of belonging, of deep, endless peace. Your eyelids grow heavy as the flower heads on the amaranth, as heavy as the ripe tomatoes hanging from their vines. The firelight blurs and softens, becoming golden honey flowing through your consciousness. The water laps gently, rhythmically, like a mother's heartbeat. The reeds whisper their ancient secrets. The stars watch over you with benevolent eyes. And you drift, slowly, peacefully, into the first stage of a deep, restful sleep. The floating gardens of Tenochtitlan cradle you in their gentle embrace, promising sweet dreams of peaceful waters and abundant harvests, and the endless, loving rhythm of life lived in harmony with the earth and the water and the turning of the stars. Chapter 2. Morning light through the reed windows of your lakeside home. You wake slowly to the gentle sound of waterbirds calling across Lake Texcoco. Your reed sleeping mat is soft beneath you, woven from the finest tule reeds, dried to a perfect golden color that catches the first pale light of dawn filtering through the gaps in your home's walls. The air smells of wood smoke from breakfast fires and the sweet dampness of morning mist rising from the lake. You stretch carefully, feeling the peaceful remnants of deep sleep still clinging to your body like the softest cotton mantle. Your home is simple, beautiful in its simplicity. Walls of adobe brick, mixed with straw from the Chinampas, and covered with smooth lime plaster that glows warmly in the morning light. The floor beneath your sleeping area is packed earth, covered with finely woven mats, dyed in gentle patterns of blue and brown. Through the small window, you can see the lake stretching toward the horizon, its surface like polished obsidian, broken only by the gentle V-shaped wake of early morning canoes. Fishermen heading out to check their nets, their movements unhurried, purposeful, peaceful. You rise slowly, your bare feet touching the cool earth floor. The transition from sleep to waking is gradual, like the sun rising over the eastern mountains. No sudden jolts. No harsh demands, just the natural flow from rest to gentle activity. In the corner of your home, a small altar holds precious objects. A jade figurine of Tlaloc, god of rain and fertility, carved with infinite care by an artisan whose grandfather's grandfather learned the craft. Copal incense burns in a clay brazier, its sweet smoke rising in delicate spirals, carrying prayers upward to the four directions. Fresh flowers lie before the altar, marigolds and morning glories, picked at dawn when their petals still hold drops of dew. The orange and purple petals seem to glow with inner light, offerings of beauty to the forces that bring rain and sunshine and the abundance of the floating gardens. A clay water jar stands near your sleeping area, its surface smooth and cool to the touch, filled with fresh water from the spring-fed canals that bring pure mountain water to Lake Texcoco. You cup the water in your hands, splashing your face gently, feeling the coolness wake your skin, your senses, gradually and pleasantly. The water tastes clean, pure, with just a hint of the minerals from its long journey through volcanic rock, from the high peaks where clouds gather and release their precious cargo. This is water that has fallen as rain on pine forests, trickled through mountain meadows, and finally arrived here, at your home, to refresh and sustain. Outside your door, you hear the soft sounds of your neighbors beginning their day. The gentle scrape of metates, volcanic stone grinding platforms where women prepare corn for the day's tortillas. The rhythm is ancient, meditative, like a slow heartbeat that connects this morning to thousands of mornings stretching back through time. You step outside, into air that is still cool from the night, but touched with the promise of warmth to come. The sky is the pale gray blue of early dawn, with thin clouds stretched like silk scarves across the horizon. Soon they will turn pink, then gold, then disappear into the blue clarity of day. Your courtyard is small, enclosed by low walls, covered with flowering vines. Morning glory flowers are just opening, their purple trumpets unfurling to greet the sun. Hummingbirds hover at the blossoms, their wings beating so fast they're almost invisible. Tiny emerald jewels suspended in the peaceful air. The small garden occupies one corner of the courtyard. Chili plants heavy with bright red fruits, tomato vines sprawling across wooden frames, herbs growing in neat rows, cilantro and epazote, Mexican mint marigold and holy basil, each plant tended with care, watered with precious lake water, loved into abundance. You walk slowly among your plants, checking for signs of growth, new flowers, ripening fruits. This is not work, but meditation, a gentle communion with the green beings that share your small plot of earth. Each plant has its own personality, its own needs, its own gifts to offer. The chili plants rustle softly in the morning breeze, their leaves a deep green that speaks of good soil, adequate water, loving attention. You touch one of the red chilies, feeling its smooth skin, still cool from the night air. Soon these will be dried and ground, adding warmth and flavor to countless meals. A small canal runs along the edge of your courtyard, part of the intricate network of waterways that connects every home, every garden, every corner of this lake-bound civilization. The water moves slowly, almost imperceptibly, carrying nutrients from the composted remains of last year's crops, feeding this year's abundance. You kneel beside the canal, cupping water in a gourd bowl, pouring it gently at the base of your tomato plants. The earth drinks deeply, darkening as it absorbs the life-giving moisture. This ritual, this daily tending, connects you to every farmer, every gardener, every person who has ever coaxed food from willing soil. The sound of water, always water, forms the background music of your morning. Gentle lapping against the stone edges of canals, soft splashing as neighbors fill their water jars. The distant sound of fountains in the great plaza of Tenochtitlan, where spring water bubbles up through carefully carved stone channels. A butterfly lands on your hand, its wings black and orange. A monarch, perhaps, resting on its long journey across the mountains. Its touch is lighter than a feather, lighter than thought. For a moment, you are perfectly still, perfectly present, connected to this small being through the simple act of mutual trust. The butterfly lifts off, floating toward your marigolds, where it settles to drink nectar from the golden flowers. Its wings open and close slowly, like gentle breathing, like the pulse of life itself, visible in this small, beautiful creature. From somewhere nearby comes the sound of weaving, the soft click of wooden shuttles moving through vertical threads, creating cloth that will become clothing, carrying wraps, blankets for cool nights. The rhythm is hypnotic, soothing, another thread in the tapestry of peaceful morning sounds. You walk to the edge of your courtyard, where a low wall overlooks one of the smaller canals. A woman in a canoe paddles slowly past, her movements efficient, graceful. The canoe is loaded with fresh vegetables, destined for the great market at Tlatelolco, where people from all corners of the empire come to trade, to exchange, to share in abundance. She nods to you, a greeting between neighbors, between fellow dwellers in this water-surrounded paradise. Her smile is gentle, unhurried. She has time for courtesy, for human connection, even as she goes about her daily work. This is life lived at the proper pace. The natural rhythm of human commune. Behind her canoe, a family of ducks paddles in formation, parents leading, ducklings following in a perfect line. Their soft quacking adds to the morning's gentle chorus. They are unafraid, accustomed to the peaceful coexistence of human and wild life that characterizes this carefully balanced world. The sun climbs higher, its rays slanting through the morning mist, touching the water with gold, illuminating the dewdrops on spider webs stretched between the reeds. Each web is a masterpiece of engineering, a mandala of perfect geometry, sparkling with captured light. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with air that smells of flowers and water and the good earth of the Chinampas. This is air that has been purified by countless plants, blessed by the patient work of generations who have created this paradise. From the swamp and reeds of ancient Lake Texcoco, a heron stands motionless in the shallows near your home, its reflection perfect in the still water. It seems to be meditating, like a feathered monk practicing patience. The bird's presence adds to the morning's sense of peace, of time suspended, of life lived in perfect harmony with natural rhythms. Children's voices drift across the water, soft laughter as they play among the reeds. Their games are gentle, imaginative. They create boats from folded leaves. Send them sailing on miniature voyages. Watch them disappear around bends in the narrow waterways. Each leaf boat carries wishes, dreams, the innocent hopes of young hearts. You return to your small garden, kneeling beside a row of bean plants. Their heart-shaped leaves are covered with tiny drops of dew, each drop a perfect lens, magnifying the intricate patterns of the leaf surface. You touch one gently, watching the water roll off like liquid mercury, returning to the earth, continuing its endless cycle. The bean flowers are small, white and purple, delicate as tissue paper. Yet from these modest blossoms will come the protein-rich seeds that will sustain families, provide strength for workers, nourishment for children, all of life's abundance contained in these simple, perfect flowers. A gentle breeze stirs the water, creating ripples that catch and scatter the strengthening sunlight. The surface of the lake becomes a sheet of moving diamonds, beautiful beyond description, worth more than all the gold in the emperor's treasury. This beauty belongs to everyone and no one, part of the great gift that surrounds and sustains all life. You feel yourself settling into the rhythm of the morning. Your breathing synchronized with the gentle movement of water. Your heartbeat matching the patient pulse of growing plants. Your body relaxes. Tensions from dreams, from sleep, from the subtle worries that accumulate even in paradise, all flowing away, dissolved in the peace of this perfect morning. The light continues to strengthen, warming your skin, awakening the flowers, calling forth the busy activity of bees and butterflies and hummingbirds. Yet even this activity feels peaceful, purposeful without being frantic, part of the great dance of life that has continued here for countless generations. Your eyelids feel pleasantly heavy, not from tiredness, but from the deep contentment that comes from being perfectly, completely at home in your place in the world. The morning light grows golden, honey-colored, flowing over you like a blessing. You rest back against the warm adobe wall of your home, letting the sun touch your face. The sounds of the lake, the gardens, the gentle activity of your neighbors, all blend into a symphony of perfect peace. The water laps, the reeds whisper, your breathing slows, and you drift into the most restful, most peaceful state between waking and sleeping, where thoughts flow like water, where the boundary between yourself and this beautiful world dissolves into perfect, harmonious unity. Chapter 3. Afternoon Rest in the Shade of Ancient Cypress Trees. You walk slowly along a stone pathway, worn smooth by countless feet, that winds through the sacred grove of Chapultepec. The great cypress trees tower above you, their massive trunks twisted with age, their branches spreading like protective arms, offering cool shade from the afternoon sun. The air here is different, cooler, filled with the green scent of leaves and earth. The sounds of the great city of Tenochtitlan fade to a gentle murmur, replaced by the whisper of wind through branches, the soft drip of spring water, the occasional call of birds hidden in the canopy above. You choose a spot beneath the largest tree, an ancient cypress whose trunk is so wide that 20 people holding hands could barely encircle it. Its bark is deeply grooved, textured like the skin of some benevolent giant who has watched over this place since before the first Aztec ever set foot on the shores of Lake Texcoco. A woven mat spreads easily on the soft earth, cushioned by centuries of fallen leaves that have decomposed into rich humus. This is soil blessed by time, by the patient work of roots and rain, by the gentle decay that feeds new life. Your body settles into this natural cushion, feeling the earth's support, solid and reassuring beneath you. Above your head, the cypress branches create a living cathedral, their needles filtering the sunlight into patterns of gold and green that dance and shift with every breath of wind. It's like resting beneath a jeweled dome, where every leaf is a tiny stained glass window, refracting light into countless shades of emerald and amber. The spring that feeds this grove bubbles up from deep underground, its source hidden among the roots of the great trees. You can hear it, a gentle trickling, like soft laughter or whispered secrets. This is water that has journeyed through rock and earth for unknown years, emerging here pure, cold, blessed by its long passage through the darkness. You close your eyes and listen to the layered sounds of this peaceful place. Wind moving through different levels of leaves. The scent of copal incense drifts from a small shrine, hidden deeper in the grove, where someone has left offerings, fresh flowers, precious jade beads, small clay figurines, prayers made manifest in simple gifts, tokens of gratitude for the peace, the beauty, the sense of sacred presence that permeates this ancient place. A butterfly lands on your hand, its wings the deep blue of lapis lazuli, edged with silver. It rests there for long moments, opening and closing its wings slowly. Like gentle breathing, you remain perfectly still, honored by this small creature's trust, this moment of connection between human and wild beauty. The butterfly lifts off, floating deeper into the grove, where shafts of sunlight create columns of gold, in which tiny insects dance, like dust motes in the light, but alive, purposeful, each one playing its part in the great web of life that connects all things. In this sacred space, you settle more deeply into the soft earth, feeling your body relax, muscle by muscle, tension flowing away, absorbed by the patient trees, carried off by the gentle wind. Your breathing slows, synchronizing with the rhythm of the leaves, the patient pulse of growing wood, the eternal circulation of sap and water. A small bird lands on a branch above you, a hummingbird, no larger than your thumb, its throat glowing like a ruby in the dappled light. It hovers for a moment, then darts away, quick as thought, leaving only the memory of its fierce, tiny life, its jeweled beauty. Another gift from this place of gifts. The light filtering through the leaves shifts and changes as clouds pass overhead, creating moments of deeper shade, followed by renewed brightness. This play of light and shadow is like the breathing of the forest itself, inhaling coolness, exhaling warmth in the slow rhythm of deep contentment. From somewhere in the distance, you hear the soft sound of a wooden flute, its melody floating through the trees, simple, haunting. The notes seem to blend with the wind, becoming part of the grove's natural music. A human voice joining the chorus of birds and rustling leaves and flowing water. You open your eyes slowly, looking up through the canopy to glimpses of sky, blue as turquoise, white clouds drifting like cotton blossoms. The world above seems infinitely far, yet intimately close. You are suspended between earth and heaven, held in the embrace of these ancient trees. The cypress nearest you bears scars from lightning strikes, long healed over, where the bark has grown back in strange flowing patterns, like frozen water. These are the marks of survival, of endurance. This tree has weathered countless storms, yet continues to grow, to shelter, to give life. A family of squirrels chatters somewhere above, their voices adding percussion to the forest symphony. They are at home here, as much a part of this place as the trees themselves. Their presence speaks of safety, of abundance, of a world where all creatures find their proper niche, their place of belonging. The afternoon light begins to slant lower, taking on the golden quality that speaks of day's gentle decline toward evening. But there is no hurry here, no sense of time pressing. The trees have taught this place the patience of seasons, the wisdom of slow growth, the peace that comes from deep roots. You reach out to touch the bark of the great cypress, feeling its rough texture, still warm from the sun. This tree was already ancient when the first Aztec emperor ruled from Tenochtitlan. It has witnessed the rise and change of civilizations, yet remains constant, offering the same shade, the same peace to all who seek it. A gentle breeze stirs the air, carrying the scent of flowers, blooming somewhere deeper in the grove, jasmine perhaps, or the night-blooming cereus that opens its white petals only in darkness. These are flowers that give their fragrance freely, asking nothing in return but the presence of appreciative souls. Your body sinks deeper into perfect relaxation. The earth supports you. The trees shelter you. The air nourishes you. You are held safely, completely, in the embrace of this living sanctuary. This is rest beyond sleep, peace beyond the need for thought, connection beyond the boundaries of self. The play of light through leaves creates ever-changing patterns on your closed eyelids, kaleidoscopes of green and gold, shifting like dreams, like memories, like the flow of consciousness itself, beautiful, meaningless, perfect in their endless transformation. Water trickles somewhere nearby, perhaps from the sacred spring, perhaps condensation, dripping from the broad leaves of understory plants. The sound is hypnotic, rhythmic, like the beating of a very slow heart or the pulse of the earth itself, measuring time in drops, in moments, in breaths. Water trickles somewhere nearby, perhaps from the sacred spring, perhaps condensation, dripping from the broad leaves of understory plants. The sound is hypnotic, rhythmic, like the beating of a very slow heart, or the pulse of the earth itself, measuring time, in drops, in moments, in breaths. A sense of timelessness settles over you. Past and future dissolve into this eternal now, where the trees have always stood, where the spring has always flowed, where seekers have always come to find rest, renewal, connection with something larger, deeper, more enduring than the small concerns of daily life. The afternoon fades imperceptibly into something approaching evening, though the light still filters golden and green through the protective canopy. This is the hour when day workers return to their homes, when families gather for evening meals. But here, in this timeless grove, such distinctions seem unimportant. Your breathing becomes so slow, so gentle, that you barely notice it. The boundary between your breath and the breath of the forest begins to blur. You are breathing with the trees, with the wind, with the slow circulation of life itself. Nothing separate, everything connected in the great rhythm of existence. A profound stillness settles over you. Not the stillness of death, but the stillness of deep life, of roots extending into rich earth, of leaves reaching toward patient sky. This is the stillness that allows growth, that enables the slow miracle of seed becoming tree, of acorn becoming oak, of moment becoming eternity. The golden light grows softer, more diffuse. Evening is approaching, with its promise of rest, of return to the small human world, of hearth fires and evening meals. But for now, you rest in this greater home, this cathedral of trees, this sanctuary of peace. Your thoughts slow, like water finding its level, like leaves settling to earth, like breath becoming so gentle, so natural that it seems to breathe itself. The great trees watch over you, their presence protective, benevolent, ancient beyond measure, yet eternally renewed. And in this perfect rest, beneath the Cathedral of Cyprus, with the spring water singing its timeless song and the filtered light painting patterns of gold on your peaceful face, you drift into the deepest, most restorative quiet, your soul cradled in the arms of these ancient guardians, breathing slowly, breathing deeply, breathing in perfect harmony with the eternal rhythm of this sacred grove. Chapter 4. Evening Preparation in Your Peaceful Kitchen Garden. The sun hangs lower now, casting long golden shadows across your small kitchen garden behind your lakeside home. Evening is approaching with gentle steps, bringing the promise of rest, of simple pleasures, of the quiet satisfaction that comes from tending, growing things with your own careful hands. You move slowly among the raised beds, checking on plants that have been your companions through the growing season. Each one familiar, each one bearing gifts of nourishment, of beauty, of the deep contentment that comes from working in partnership with the earth. The tomato plants are heavy now, with fruit in various stages of ripeness, some still green and firm, others blushing with the first hint of red, and a few perfect specimens, deep crimson in the slanting light, ready to be gathered for tonight's simple meal. Each tomato warm from the day's sun, a small miracle of transformation from tiny seed to abundant harvest. You reach carefully among the vines, your fingers gentle, selecting only the fully ripe fruits. Their skin is smooth, slightly yielding to pressure, and they release easily from their stems with the soft pop that signals perfect readiness. These tomatoes smell of summer, of earth, of the careful balance of sun and water that has brought them to this moment of perfect ripeness. A clay bowl made by local artisans sits at the end of each garden row. Its red-brown surface, decorated with simple geometric patterns, speaks of hands that knew clay, as you know plants. Each bowl a small work of art, functional and beautiful, created to serve the simple needs of harvest, of gathering the earth's gifts. The bean plants climb wooden trellises, their heart-shaped leaves creating living curtains that filter the evening light into patterns of green and gold. Among the leaves hang pods, some still slender and green, perfect for tonight's cooking, others swollen and dry, their contents destined to become next year's seeds. The eternal cycle of growth and harvest and renewal, visible in this simple garden. You pick the tender green beans, one by one, their surfaces slightly fuzzy, pleasantly rough against your fingertips. Each pod snaps cleanly when bent, releasing the fresh scent of chlorophyll, of growing things, of life captured at its peak of vigor. These beans will cook quickly, retaining their bright color, their crisp texture, their essential vitality. Chili plants stand in neat rows, their glossy leaves reflecting the golden evening light. The chilies hang like small lanterns, red and orange and yellow, each variety with its own shape, its own heat, its own contribution to the complex symphony of flavors that make each meal a celebration of abundance and variety. You select several chilies, handling them carefully, respectfully. These small fruits carry the heat of the sun, concentrated and intensified. A few will transform an entire pot of beans, adding warmth, complexity, the kind of deep flavor that speaks of this place, this soil, this particular marriage of earth and sun and careful tending. The squash vines sprawl across their allotted space, their broad leaves like green umbrellas, shading the earth beneath, protecting the soil from the hot afternoon sun. Young squash blossoms, still attached to tiny fruits, glow golden in the evening light. These flowers are delicate, edible, perfect for stuffing with fresh herbs and cooking gently in clay pans. A few perfect squash blossoms find their way into your gathering basket, their petals soft as silk, slightly sticky to the touch. They must be used quickly, before they close for the night. Their flavor is subtle, green, and slightly sweet, a taste that speaks of early morning, of dew on leaves, of the moment when day begins. Herbs grow in the spaces between, larger vegetables, making use of every inch of precious garden soil. Cilantro with its distinctive, saw-toothed leaves, epazote with its narrow, pungent foliage, holy basil, its purple-tinged stems reaching toward the sky. Each herb with its own gifts, its own medicine, its own way of enhancing the simple foods that sustain life. You brush cilantro leaves with your fingers, releasing their bright scent, sharp and clean, like mountain air after rain. A few sprigs join the vegetables in your basket. They will be chopped finely, scattered over beans, mixed into salsas, adding their distinctive flavor to tonight's simple feast. Their taste speaks of freshness, of life lived close to growing things. A small section of the garden holds ceremonial plants, marigolds with their orange and yellow flowers, used in offerings, in celebrations. Their scent is earthy, complex, both attractive and strange. These flowers will be gathered for tomorrow's altar, their bright faces carrying prayers toward the setting sun. Tobacco plants grow in one sacred corner, their broad leaves heavy with the evening dew. These are not for casual use, but for ceremony, for communication with the world beyond, the visible. Their white flowers, trumpet-shaped, open in the evening, releasing perfume that attracts night-flying moths drawn to beauty in the gathering darkness. You pause in your gathering, standing quietly among your plants, feeling the satisfaction that comes from this daily ritual of harvest, of preparation. This is work that connects directly to survival, to nourishment, to the basic requirements of life itself. Yet it feels like prayer, like meditation, like communion, with forces larger than yourself. The light continues to shift, becoming more golden, more slanted. Shadows grow longer, cooler. The air begins to carry the first hints of evening's coolness, though warmth still radiates from the sun-baked clay paths between the garden beds. This is the most beautiful hour, when day begins its gentle transition into night. You move toward the herbs that grow closest to your kitchen door. These are the plants used daily for cooking, for medicine, for the small healings that make life bearable. Mint grows in a large clay pot, its roots contained to prevent it from spreading throughout the garden. Its leaves are soft, fragrant, perfect for tea, for digestive remedies, for adding freshness to simple meals. A few mint leaves join the other herbs in your basket. Their cool scent mingles with the earthier fragrances of cilantro and epazote, creating a bouquet that speaks of home, of familiar flavors, of meals prepared with love and attention. These are scents that comfort, that promise nourishment, that connect this evening to countless other evenings of simple abundance. Mexican mint marigold grows in another container, its narrow leaves releasing a scent like tarragon when crushed. This herb bridges the gap between medicine and seasoning. Its yellow flowers can be eaten, adding color and mild licorice flavor to salads and stews. Another gift from plants that give generously, asking only for water, soil, and occasional attention. Your basket grows heavy with the evening's harvest. Each vegetable, each herb, represents hours of careful tending, of watering in the early morning, of watching for pests, of the patient work that transforms seeds into sustenance. This weight in your arms is the weight of abundance, of security, of the earth's generous response to human care. You walk slowly toward your outdoor kitchen, where a clay kamal waits on its 3-stone hearth. The stones are blackened from countless cooking fires, worn smooth by generations of use. This is equipment that connects you to your grandmothers, to their grandmothers, to an unbroken chain of women and men who have prepared simple meals with grateful hearts. A small fire, built from dry wood, collected from fallen branches, begins to catch, sending thin streams of smoke upward into the evening air. The smoke smells of cedar, of oak, of the trees that gave their wood willingly to this most basic human need. The flames dance hypnotically, orange and yellow, creating their own gentle light as the sun begins its final descent. Water simmers gently in a large clay pot, heated by coals. Drawn from the fire, this water came from the canal that runs past your home, part of the great system that brings fresh mountain water to every household in Tenochtitlan. It has been filtered through sand and charcoal, purified by the patient work of careful hands. Now it waits, ready to receive the beans that will cook slowly through the evening hours. You sort through your harvest, laying vegetables on a woven mat beside the fire. The tomatoes glow like small suns in the flickering light. The beans lie in neat rows, green and straight, promising tender sweetness. The chilies seem to pulse with contained heat, waiting to release their fire into the cooking pot. A stone metate sits ready for grinding, its volcanic surface worn smooth by use, but still rough enough to crush, to powder, to transform hard kernels into flour, dried chilies into powder, cacao beans into the paste that becomes chocolate. This tool, carved from mountain stone, connects your hands to the earth's patient strength. You begin with the chilies, handling them carefully, removing stems, shaking out seeds that will be saved for next year's planting. The dried pods crackle slightly as you work, releasing small puffs of concentrated fragrance, sweet and smoky, with hints of the heat that lies sleeping within their wrinkled skins. The chilies go onto the hot comal, where they puff and darken, filling the air with their toasted fragrance. This is alchemy, the transformation of raw into cooked, of harsh into mellow, of simple into complex. The scent carries on the evening air, announcing to neighbors that another household prepares its evening meal. While the chilies toast, you prepare the tomatoes, cutting them carefully with an obsidian blade sharper than any metal. The volcanic glass parts the tomato's skin cleanly, precisely, leaving no ragged edges, no bruised flesh. This is cutting that honors both blade and fruit, ancient technology perfectly suited to its purpose. Tomato seeds and juice run onto the cutting mat. This liquid, red gold in the firelight, carries the essence of summer, of sunshine, of the plant's patient work, transforming water and soil into flavor, into nourishment. Nothing is wasted. Even the seeds will be saved, dried, planted, continuing the cycle of abundance. The toasted chilies, now dark and fragrant, go onto the metate, where your hands begin the rhythmic work of grinding. The stone mano moves back and forth, crushing the dried pods, releasing their oils, their flavors, their carefully stored energy. This is work that requires attention, patience, the willingness to let time accomplish what force cannot. As you grind, the chilies release their full complexity, sweet undertones. From the long drying, smoky notes, from the toasting, heat that builds slowly, warming your sinuses, clearing your thoughts. This is flavor that speaks of place, of tradition, of the accumulated wisdom of countless cooks who have learned to coax fire from these small fruits. A paste forms slowly under your patient grinding, red-brown, smooth, aromatic. This will be the heart of tonight's sauce, the foundation upon which other flavors will build. Each stroke of the mano releases more fragrance, more complexity. The work becomes meditation, rhythmic, soothing, connecting your hands to ancient knowledge. The beans soaked since morning in precious water go into the simmering pot, along with a sprig of epazote. The herb's pungent scent rises with the steam. This plant, unknown in other lands, is the perfect companion to beans, aiding digestion, adding its own distinctive flavor. Another gift from this generous earth. You add the ground chili paste to the pot, watching it bloom in the hot water, coloring the liquid deep red. The aroma that rises speaks of comfort, of sustenance, of the marriage between heat and protein that has sustained generations. This is food that nourishes not just the body, but the soul. Water for tortillas sits in another pot, heated but not boiling. The masa, corn dough, prepared this morning, waits in a covered bowl. This is corn that has been treated with lime. In the ancient process that unlocks nutrition, makes the grain more digestible, more nourishing. Wisdom encoded in traditional methods, perfected over centuries. You take a small portion of masa, rolling it between your palms, forming a perfect sphere, then pressing gently but firmly between your hands, creating a thin disc. This is work that requires feel, intuition, the knowledge that lives in fingers trained from childhood to judge thickness, moisture, readiness. The tortilla goes on to the hot comal, where it puffs slightly, cooking quickly in the dry heat. The scent of toasting corn fills the air. This is bread in its most basic form, grain and water, transformed by heat into sustenance. Each tortilla, a small miracle of simplicity and nourishment. You flip the tortilla with practiced fingers, watching for the signs of doneness. Small brown spots appear on the surface. The edges begin to curl slightly. The tortilla becomes fragrant, ready to receive whatever gifts the cooking pot has prepared. One by one, tortillas pile up on a woven basket lined with clean cloth to keep them warm. This is the rhythm of evening preparation. Simple tasks performed with attention, with gratitude for the abundance that makes such meals possible. The beans simmer slowly, their cooking liquid taking on the color and complexity of the chili paste. Steam carries the mingled fragrances of epazote and toasted chilies and cooking beans. This is the scent of home, of security, of another day's needs being met through patient work and nature's generosity. As darkness begins to gather in the corners of your courtyard, small oil lamps are lit. Their flames, steady and golden, push back the growing shadows, creating pools of warm light in which the final preparations for the evening meal can continue. The light from fire and lamps flickers across your face, creating patterns of gold and shadow. This is light that humans have known for millennia, firelight that connects this evening to countless others when families gathered around cooking fires, sharing simple meals prepared with love and attention. You taste the beans, checking for doneness, for seasoning. The chili heat has mellowed in the cooking, becoming warmth rather than fire. The beans themselves are tender, creamy, ready to nourish, to satisfy, to comfort. This is food that sustains life, that brings families together around the shared table of existence. The squash blossoms go into a small clay pan with a little water and salt. They cook quickly, their golden petals wilting into tender morsels that taste of early morning, of dew, of the plant's generous offering, of beauty transformed into nur. Everything comes together in the gentle choreography of meal preparation. Tortillas warming, beans simmering, vegetables cooking, each element contributing its own gifts to the evening's feast. This is cooking as ceremony, as daily ritual, as celebration of abundance and community. The air fills with the complex aromas of the finished meal. Corn and chilies, beans and herbs, the scent of wood smoke underlying everything, connecting this simple food to the earth from which it came. This is fragrance that satisfies before the first bite, that speaks of home, of security, of another day gratefully received. You stand in the flickering firelight, surrounded by the fruits of your labor, both in garden and kitchen. The evening star appears in the deepening sky, the first star of night, witness to countless such moments when human hands transform Earth's gifts into sustenance, into celebration, into gratitude made manifest. The meal is ready, simple, nourishing, beautiful, in its uncomplicated honesty. This is food prepared not for display, but for life, for the basic human need to gather, to share, to acknowledge together the gifts that make existence possible. Your breathing slows with satisfaction. The day's work is completed, the evening's preparation finished. Now comes the time for rest, for the quiet enjoyment of simple pleasures, for the peaceful transition from activity to stillness, from doing to being, from effort to the gentle, restful embrace of earned repose. And as the cooking fires settle into coals, and the last steam rises from the cooking pots, and the evening stars begin their nightly watch, you feel the deep satisfaction that comes from work well done, from needs well met, from another day lived in harmony with the generous rhythms of earth and season, and the eternal peaceful cycle of planting and harvest and rest. Chapter 5. Night's Gentle Embrace by the Starlit Waters. The last light of day fades slowly from the western sky, leaving behind colors like crushed flowers, rose and lavender deepening into the soft blue of approaching night. You sit beside the calm waters of Lake Texcoco on a woven mat still warm from the day's sun, feeling the gentle transition from day to night like a soft breath exhaled by the earth itself. The lake stretches before you, its surface mirror smooth, reflecting the first stars as they appear, one by one, in the darkening sky. Each star, a point of silver light, doubled in the water's surface, creating a world that exists both above and below, connected by the gentle membrane of the lake's peaceful surface. A soft breeze moves across the water, creating tiny ripples that catch the last remnants of twilight. Each ripple carries light, like liquid starlight, flowing toward the shore, where it laps against the stone edges of the Chinampas, with a sound softer than whispers, gentler than sighs. Night-blooming flowers begin to open, their white petals unfolding like small moons, releasing their sweet fragrances into the cooling air. These are flowers that give their beauty to darkness, their perfume a gift to those who pause to appreciate the subtle wonders of the night. The scent of jasmine drifts across the water, mixed with the green smell of night-blooming cereus and the earthy dampness that rises from the lake as evening moisture begins to condense on leaves, on stone, on the surface of still water. This is air perfumed by darkness, sweetened by the patient breath of growing things. From somewhere in the reeds comes the gentle plinking sound of a wooden flute, its notes simple, haunting, floating across the water like musical drops of light. The melody has no urgency, no particular destination. It simply is, existing in this moment, adding its voice to the symphony of night sounds. Frogs begin their evening chorus from hidden places among the water plants. Their voices blend into a gentle, rhythmic background, like the earth's own heartbeat made audible. This is music older than human civilization, the sound of life celebrating its own existence in the cool humidity of night. The day's sun offering its heat generously to your relaxing body. This is support given freely by the earth itself, solid, reliable, eternal. Above you, the stars continue their ancient appearance. Venus, bright as a small moon, hangs in the western sky. Soon it too will set, following the sun into the realm of night. But for now, it watches over this peaceful transition like a benevolent guardian of evening's gentle transformation. The Milky Way begins to show itself, a faint river of light flowing across the darkening sky. This is the same river that guided towards the moon. Your ancestors, the same stars that watched over the first builders of Tenochtitlan. Continuity made visible in points of ancient light. A night heron calls from somewhere among the reeds, its voice deep, mysterious, like the sound of ancient wisdom made audible. These birds are creatures of twilight, of the boundary time between day and night. Their presence speaks of mysteries, of the hidden life that flourishes in darkness. The water laps gently against your feet where they rest in the shallows. The lake's temperature is perfect, neither warm nor cool, but exactly the same as your body's heat, as if you and the water share the same life force, the same gentle pulse of existence. Small fish move in the shallows, their presence revealed by tiny rings spreading on the water's surface. They are feeding on insects that have fallen from overhanging plants, part of the endless cycle of giving and receiving that characterizes all life in this abundant ecosystem. A bat flickers overhead, its flight erratic, purposeful, as it pursues mosquitoes in the gathering darkness. This too is part of the night's perfect balance, each creature fulfilling its role in the great web of life that sustains and nourishes all existence. From across the lake comes the distant sound of conch shells being blown from the temples of Tenochtitlan. Deep, resonant notes that carry across the water like the voices of ancient gods. These are sounds that mark the passage of sacred time, connecting this moment to all the moments of reverence that have come before. The sound of the shells fades into silence, leaving only the gentle lapping of water, the soft chorus of frogs, the occasional plash of a jumping fish. This is the music of night, subtle, peaceful, without beginning or end, like the breath of the earth itself. You close your eyes and listen more deeply to the layered sounds of this peaceful place. Beneath the obvious sounds are others, more subtle. The gentle whisper of wind through reed beds, the soft rustle of water plants moving in the current, the distant sound of night insects beginning their chorus. Your breathing slows, matching the rhythm of the water's movement. Your heartbeat synchronizes with the gentle pulse of life that surrounds you. Boundary lines begin to blur between your body and the warm stone, between your consciousness and the peaceful darkness. A profound stillness settles over the lake. Not the stillness of emptiness, but the stillness of deep fullness of life, so abundant, so perfectly balanced that it rests in complete harmony. This is the stillness at the heart of all movement, the peace that underlies all activity. Stars reflect in the water, creating a second sky beneath the surface. You feel suspended between two heavens, held gently by the earth, yet connected to the infinite expanse of star-filled space. This is the moment when boundaries dissolve, when the individual becomes one with the universal. The night air grows cooler, bringing with it the scent of dew forming on grass, on leaves, on flower petals. This is moisture, drawn from the lake by the day's heat, now returning as gentle blessing, nourishing the plants that will greet tomorrow's sunrise. You feel yourself settling more deeply into relaxation. Your muscles release their hold on tension. Your thoughts slow like ripples, spreading outward on still water until they fade into the greater silence that surrounds us and contains all thought. The darkness is not empty, but filled with presence, with the patient watching of stars, the gentle movement of water, the slow breathing of sleeping plants. This is darkness as comfort, as protection, as the natural rhythm that balances the activity of day. A gentle current moves through the water, carrying the faint perfume of water lilies blooming somewhere in the deeper channels. Their scent is subtle, clean, like the essence of purity itself. This is fragrance that speaks of hidden beauty, of flowers that bloom unseen in the peaceful darkness. Your consciousness begins to drift like a leaf on a gentle water, flowing toward the deep rest that waits at the end of every day. This is not the forced sleep of exhaustion, but the natural surrender to the rhythm that governs all life, the rhythm of activity and rest, of doing and being. The stars watch over you as they have watched over countless others who have sat by this same water, seeking the same peace, the same connection to something larger, more enduring than the small concerns of individual existence. You join this ancient communion of souls seeking rest. The sound of your breathing blends with the gentle sounds of the lake, becoming part of the night's peaceful symphony. There is no separation between you and this place, between your peace and the peace of the water, the peace of the stars, the peace that underlies all existence. Time seems to slow, then stop. This moment extends into eternity, or perhaps eternity contracts into this single, perfect moment of absolute peace, of complete harmony with the gentle rhythms that govern the turning of the world. The lake breathes gently, its surface rising and falling, almost imperceptibly, with the movement of deep currents. This is the breath of the earth itself, slow, patient, eternal. Your small human breath joining the vast respiration of the living planet. And as the stars shine their ancient light down through the peaceful darkness, and the water whispers its savoring tranquil, eternal lullaby against the shore, and the night, flowers release their gentle fragrances into the cooling air. You feel yourself sinking deeper into the most profound rest. Your eyelids grow heavy as the dew forming on flower petals, as heavy as the ripe fruit hanging from laden branches. The peaceful darkness embraces you like the gentlest mother welcoming her child home. The night breeze hums softly through the water lilies, through the reed beds, through the ancient cypress trees. This is the earth's own lullaby, sung for countless generations of those who have found rest beside these eternal waters. You drift slowly, peacefully into the deepest, most restorative sleep, cradled by the gentle movement of water, blessed by starlight, surrounded by the loving presence of this ancient, sacred place, where peace is not just a feeling, but a living reality. Your breath becomes so gentle, so natural, that it seems to breathe itself. The boundary between sleeping and waking dissolves into something deeper, more fundamental, the simple, peaceful existence at the heart of all being. And in this perfect rest beside the starlit waters of Lake Texcoco, with the ancient rhythms of earth and water singing you towards sleep, you find the deepest, most complete peace, your soul cradled in the arms of this timeless place, breathing slowly, breathing deeply, breathing in perfect harmony with the eternal, peaceful rhythm of life itself.
I hope you found the gentle, soothing story of life in Tenochtitlan, the heart of the Aztec Empire, pleasant and calming. Now I invite you to drift into a tale set deep within a European forest, where the air is serene, the world is hushed, and nature's quiet embrace carries you softly into a peaceful reverie.
Whispers beneath the ancient oaks. A 5-chapter bedtime story. Chapter 1. Arrival at the moonlit village garden. You step softly through the wrought iron gate. Its hinges whisper gently in the cool evening breeze. The cobblestone path beneath your feet feels smooth and worn, polished by countless footsteps over hundreds of years. The village garden spreads before you like a tapestry woven from moonbeams and shadow. Ancient oak trees stretch their gnarled branches overhead, their leaves rustling with the soft percussion of 1,000 tiny hands. The air carries the sweet fragrance of night-blooming jasmine, mingled with the earthy scent of damp moss. Your fingers trail along the stone wall that borders the garden. Each stone was placed here by medieval craftsmen, using techniques passed down through generations. The mortar between them contains crushed seashells, a practice that began in the 12th century. When builders discovered it made their walls stronger, more resistant to time and weather. Lavender bushes line the pathway, their purple spikes swaying gently, releasing waves of calming fragrance with each breath of wind. The Romans first brought lavender to Britain, planting it in monastery gardens, where monks would harvest it for healing oils and sleep pillows. Even now, centuries later, the same varieties grow here, their genetic memory unchanged. You pause beside an old wooden bench, its surface worn smooth by countless visitors, The oak from which it was carved grew in these very grounds for over 300 years, before being lovingly shaped by a village carpenter. His great-great-grandfather's hands once touched this same wood when it was still a living tree. The fountain at the garden center bubbles softly. Water trickles over carved stone dolphins, their forms inspired by Roman designs. Discovered during excavations beneath the village church, the sound creates a gentle rhythm, like a lullaby whispered by the earth itself. Each droplet catches the moonlight, creating tiny prisms that dance and disappear. Night-blooming cereus unfolds its petals nearby. This rare flower blooms only once a year, for a single night. The Aztecs called it Queen of the Night, believing it held the power to bring peaceful dreams. Its white petals seem to glow with their own inner light, ethereal and pristine. You settle onto the bench, feeling the cool night air against your skin. The temperature hovers at that perfect point, where neither warmth nor cold intrudes upon your awareness. Medieval herbalists would have called this the balanced hour, when the body's natural rhythms align with the turning of the earth. Fireflies begin their evening dance, tiny lanterns blinking in the darkness. Each flash lasts exactly 1/10 of a second, a marvel of biological precision. Children in ancient Greece believed fireflies were fallen stars, come to Earth to grant wishes. Their gentle light creates moving constellations among the garden plants. The scent of wild roses drifts on the evening breeze. These climbing roses, with their simple 5-petaled blooms, are descendants of the Rosa gallica, cultivated by Persian gardeners over 1,000 years ago. Crusading knights brought cuttings back to Europe, hidden in their saddlebags. Each bloom carries within it the memory of distant gardens, of hands that tended them across centuries. Somewhere in the distance, a church bell tolls the hour. Its bronze voice has marked time for this village since 1387. Cast by traveling bell founders who moved from town to town, sharing their ancient craft. The bell's tone was carefully tuned to resonate with the frequency that promotes deep relaxation, a secret known to medieval monks. You close your eyes and listen. The garden breathes around you, plants releasing oxygen into the cool night air. The process of photosynthesis slowing as darkness deepens, yet still continuing in the pale moonlight. Each leaf, a tiny factory of life, working silently, tirelessly. The bench beneath you holds the day's warmth. Oak wood has the remarkable ability to absorb heat slowly, then release it gradually through the night. This same property made oak the preferred wood for castle floors, keeping medieval chambers comfortable long after fires had died to embers. A barn owl calls softly from the old bell tower, its voice like velvet brushing against silk. These owls have nested in this tower for generations. The current pair, with their heart-shaped faces and dark eyes, are descendants of owls that witnessed the building of this church. Their hunting flights cover the same paths, night after night, following ancient memory. The garden's design follows principles laid out by medieval monks, who understood the connection between beauty and peace. Curved pathways slow the visitor's pace, encouraging contemplation. The placement of each plant was chosen not just for beauty, but for the subtle aromatherapy effects. rosemary for remembrance, chamomile for calm, mint for mental clarity. You breathe deeply, drawing in air that has been purified by countless leaves. Each breath contains molecules of oxygen released by the great oak above you. This tree began growing during the reign of Elizabeth I. Its roots reach deep into soil, enriched by centuries of fallen leaves, creating a foundation of perfect stability. The moonlight filters through the oak's canopy, creating patterns of silver and shadow on the ground. These shifting designs remind you of Celtic knotwork, those ancient symbols of eternity and connection, carved into stone by craftsmen who understood that all things are linked. Past to present, earth to sky, breath to heartbeat. A gentle breeze stirs the wind chimes hanging from the garden gate. Their soft tones were carefully chosen, tuned to the pentatonic scale, the same five-note pattern found in lullabies around the world. This musical structure resonates with the human nervous system, naturally slowing heart rate and breathing. You notice how the garden seems to pulse gently with life. The slow circulation of sap in tree trunks, the gradual opening and closing of flower petals, the quiet movement of earthworms aerating the soil. All these processes continue their ancient rhythms, undisturbed by the passage of human time. The flagstone path beneath your feet was laid by Roman engineers who understood the importance of proper drainage. Each stone was carefully selected, fitted together without mortar, yet holding firm for nearly 2,000 years. Their technique of creating pathways that flow with the natural contours of the land still guides garden designers today. Night-scented stalk releases its perfume into the cooling air. This flower was beloved by Victorian ladies who planted it beneath bedroom windows. Its fragrance was said to induce dreams of true love. The essential oils in its petals contain compounds that naturally reduce anxiety, promoting the deep relaxation necessary for restorative sleep. You feel your breathing slow, matching the gentle rhythm of the garden. In through your nose, the cool air carrying hints of mint and mellowness. Out through slightly parted lips, releasing the day's tensions into the accepting darkness. Each breath becomes deeper, more peaceful, more connected to the eternal cycles surrounding you. The ancient druids who once walked these lands understood that gardens are sacred spaces, places where the veil between worlds grows thin, where healing happens naturally. They planted elder trees at the garden's edges, believing these trees were guardians, protecting those who came here seeking rest and renewal. Your shoulders relax against the bench's curved back. The carpenter who shaped this seat understood ergonomics, though he would have called it simply comfort. The angle supports your spine naturally, allowing muscles to release their daytime tension. Your body recognizes this as a safe space, a sanctuary where healing can begin. The sound of water continues its gentle song, each droplet following the path of countless others, wearing smooth channels in the stone. This process, called erosion in textbooks, is really a form of patience made visible. Water teaching stone the art of yielding, of becoming more beautiful through surrender. Somewhere nearby, a hedgehog rustles through the undergrowth. These small creatures have lived alongside humans for millennia, sharing our spaces without demanding attention. Their quiet presence adds to the garden's sense of completeness, of being part of a larger community of life. The roses release their fragrance more intensely as night deepens. This is their evolutionary strategy, attracting night-flying moths for pollination. The same chemistry that draws insects also soothes human nerves, creating a perfect partnership between plant and person, each benefiting from the other's presence. You notice how your heartbeat has begun to match the gentle rhythm of the fountain. This is called entrainment, the tendency of rhythmic systems to synchronize, your body recognizing the deeper pulse of the earth, aligning itself with cycles older than memory. The moon above has witnessed countless generations of visitors to this garden. Each person who sat on this bench, breathed this air, found peace among these plants. Their presence seems to linger, not as ghosts, but as blessings, layers of gratitude and healing soaked into the very soil. As the night deepens around you, the garden's healing presence grows stronger. Plants releasing negative ions into the air, the same beneficial particles found near waterfalls and ocean shores. These invisible gifts from the plant kingdom help balance your body's electrical field, promoting the deep cellular repair that happens during sleep. The ancient yew tree in the corner has stood here for over 1,000 years. Yews were sacred to Celtic peoples, symbols of eternal life and rebirth. This tree has weathered countless storms, its flexible branches bending but never breaking, teaching the wisdom of resilience through yielding. Your eyelids grow heavy with the gentle weight of peace. The garden cradles you in its ancient embrace. All the healing accumulated over centuries, all the prayers and gratitude of countless visitors flows toward you like a gentle tide. The night breeze carries whispers of lavender and rose, of mint and jasmine, of earth and growth, and the eternal patience of growing things. You drift peacefully, naturally, into the deep, restful sleep that has blessed visitors to this sacred garden for centuries beyond counting. Chapter 2. Reading Ancient Herbals by Candlelight. You wake gently in a small stone cottage, nested at the edge of the village garden. Warm candlelight flickers against walls lined with leather-bound books, their spines worn smooth by countless hands, reaching for wisdom preserved in faded ink and carefully pressed flowers. The cottage dates back to the 14th century, built by the village's first recorded herbalist, a woman named Marguerite, whose knowledge of healing plants was legendary throughout the countryside. The thick stone walls, nearly 2 feet deep, maintain perfect temperature year-round, creating the ideal environment for preserving precious manuscripts. On the wooden table before you, an ancient herbal lies open, its vellum pages made from the finest sheepskin, prepared using techniques perfected by medieval scribes. Each page was scraped thin, then polished with pumice stone, until it gleamed like pearl. The ink, mixed from oak galls and iron, has retained its deep brown color for over 500 years. You lean closer to examine the illuminated manuscript. The margins decorated with delicate paintings of healing plants, wild chamomile with its tiny white petals, accurately depicted down to the last detail. The artist, probably a monk from the nearby abbey, spent months observing each plant, recording not just its appearance, but its growth patterns, habitat preferences, seasonal changes. Beside the herbal, a collection of dried plants rests in shallow wooden trays. These specimens were gathered according to lunar cycles, a practice dating back to ancient Egyptian healers who understood that plant potency varies with the moon's phases. Lavender harvested at dawn during a waning moon contains the highest concentration of calming compounds. The candle's flame dances gently, casting moving shadows that seem to bring the illustrated plants to life. Beeswax candles like this one were precious in medieval times, their clean light preferred by scholars and scribes. The honey scent mingles with the dry fragrance of pressed herbs, creating an atmosphere that encourages deep contemplation. Your fingers trace the Latin text, written in a careful scribal hand, Lavandula officinalis, for troubles of the mind and restlessness of sleep. The words are interspersed with notes in various languages, Arabic numerals indicating dosages, Greek symbols for planetary influences, Old English annotations added by subsequent herbalists. The cottage's windows are fitted with thick glass, a luxury in medieval times. The glazier who created these windows used techniques brought back from Venice, where Islamic scholars had perfected the art of making clear glass. Each pane was blown by hand, its subtle imperfections creating gentle distortions that soften the moonlight. A small brazier glows in the corner, filled with smoldering herbs, frankincense from ancient trade routes, mixed with local mugwort and vervain. This combination was used by Celtic druids for scrying and meditation. The aromatic smoke creates a light haze that seems to slow time, encouraging the mind to settle into deeper rhythms. The wooden floor beneath your feet was crafted from oak planks, wide enough that they came from trees over 200 years old when they were felled. These planks were seasoned for 7 years before installation, following the advice of Roman architect Vitruvius, who understood that properly aged wood never warps or shrinks. You turn a page of the herbal, revealing detailed instructions for creating sleep pillows, a mixture of dried hops, roses, and lavender, sewn into small linen sachets. The text explains that hops contain compounds that naturally promote drowsiness, while roses contribute gentle oils that calm emotional turbulence. A mortar and pestle sit nearby, carved from a single piece of marble, the stone quarried from the same site used by Roman sculptors. Centuries of grinding herbs have worn smooth depressions in the marble, creating perfect shapes for reducing dried plants to fine powders. The pestle fits your hand as if it were made specifically for your grip. The herbal describes the proper harvesting of chamomile. When the sun stands at its highest and the flower's center is firm and yellow, medieval herbalists understood that timing was crucial. Plants gathered at the wrong hour might lose their healing properties, become merely decorative rather than medicinal. Behind the cottage's windows, you can see the garden where many of these plants still grow, the same varieties that inspired the manuscript's illustrations, genetic descendants of plants tended by Marguerite. their healing properties preserved through careful seed saving, each generation carrying forward the wisdom of the last. A manuscript's pages rustle softly as you turn them, the sound like autumn leaves or gentle rainfall on thatch. Each page reveals new mysteries, detailed drawings of root systems, showing how healing compounds concentrate in underground parts, instructions for creating tinctures using methods unchanged since ancient Egypt. A small collection of glass vials lines a wooden shelf, each containing carefully prepared essences. The vials themselves are masterworks, blown by Venetian craftsmen who learned their art from Islamic glassmakers. The clarity of the glass allows you to see the plant essences inside, some clear as water, others tinted green or golden. You notice how the candlelight transforms the cottage, shadows dancing across textured walls, highlighting the careful stonework of medieval masons. Each stone was selected and placed by hand, fitted together with mortar made from lime and sand. The craftsmanship so perfect that after 7 centuries, not a single stone has shifted. The herbal describes seasonal gathering rituals, spring flowers picked at dawn, when dew still clings to petals, summer herbs harvested at noon, when essential oils reach peak concentration, autumn roots dug after the first frost, when sap has retreated deep into the earth, winter bark collected during the tree's deepest sleep. A feather quill rests in a small inkwell, its tip carefully cut to create the perfect writing point. Goose feathers were preferred by medieval scribes, their hollow shafts holding just enough ink for several words. The ink itself, made from oak galls, creates permanent marks that resist fading, even after centuries. The cottage's single room feels infinitely spacious, its proportions based on sacred geometry. The golden ratio that appears throughout nature, the distance from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, creates harmonious relationships that please the eye, calm the mind, encourage peaceful contemplation. You read about the properties of vervain, called herb of grace by ancient peoples, who considered it sacred to multiple deities. The text describes its use in blessing ceremonies, protection rituals, healing sleep disorders. Modern science has confirmed what ancient herbalists knew. Vervain contains compounds that reduce anxiety. The wooden shutters frame views of the moonlit garden. Their hinges, hand-forged by the village blacksmith, move silently despite their age. The iron was smelted using charcoal made from local oak, following techniques that produced incredibly strong, flexible metal. These hinges will likely outlast the cottage itself. A small dish holds rose petals, dried to preserve their essential oils. The petals came from damask roses, brought to Europe during the Crusades. Their fragrance, concentrated through careful drying, fills the air with subtle sweetness. The same scent that once graced the courts of Persian kings. The herbal's binding shows signs of frequent use. The leather cover, made from cowhide, has been oiled and cared for by generations of readers. The brass clasps, tarnished with age, still function perfectly, securing the precious contents inside, protecting centuries of accumulated wisdom. You discover a section on sleep herbs, written in multiple hands, as different herbalists added their knowledge over the years. Descriptions of passion flower, brought from the New World by Spanish explorers. Its compounds proven to reduce the time needed to fall asleep, increase overall sleep quality. The cottage's roof beams, hewn from massive oaks, bear the marks of medieval carpenters' tools. Each beam was shaped using techniques passed down through guild systems. Apprentices learning from masters, who learned from their masters, creating an unbroken chain of knowledge. These beams have supported the roof through countless storms. A collection of pressed flowers decorates one page, their colors still vivid after centuries. The technique of flower pressing, developed by Persian scholars, preserves both beauty and scientific accuracy. Each specimen, carefully arranged, labeled in precise script, creating a permanent record of the garden's inhabitants. The text describes moon gardens, planted with flowers that bloom at night. Evening primrose, 4 o'clocks, moonflowers. These plants evolved to attract night-flying pollinators, their pale petals reflecting moonlight, their fragrances intensifying after sunset, creating natural sanctuaries for evening contemplation. You notice how the candlelight makes the text seem to glow. The careful formation of each letter, created by scribes who considered their work a form of prayer. Every stroke deliberate, every word precisely placed. The manuscript itself becomes a meditation, drawing you deeper into peaceful awareness. The cottage's stone floor retains warmth from the day's sunshine. Limestone's natural properties include thermal mass, slowly absorbing heat, then releasing it gradually through cool evenings. This creates a gentle warmth that rises from below, keeping your feet comfortable, your body relaxed. A small mirror reflects the candlelight, its surface made using techniques developed by Islamic craftsmen. Silver backing creates perfect reflection, while slight imperfections in the glass, like those in the windows, soften harsh edges, create gentle visual effects that rest the eyes. The herbal describes the sympathies between plants and planets, ancient wisdom that connected earthly herbs with celestial movements. Lavender, ruled by Mercury, for its effects on the nervous system. Roses, governed by Venus, for their influence on emotions. These associations, dismissed by some as superstition, encoded observations about plant properties. Your breathing deepens as you read. The cottage's perfect acoustics, created by its stone construction, seem to amplify the sound of your breath. Each inhalation draws in air scented with herbs and beeswax. Each exhalation releases the day's accumulated tensions. The rhythm becomes meditative, hypnotic. The manuscript reveals recipes for dream pillows, combinations of herbs designed to promote specific types of dreams. Mugwort for prophetic visions, jasmine for dreams of love, rosemary for dreams that strengthen memory. Each recipe tested by generations of herbalists, refined through centuries of use. A wooden hourglass sits beside the books, its sand flowing at precisely measured intervals. Timekeeping devices like this allowed medieval scholars to regulate their study periods, ensure adequate rest. The steady flow of sand creates a gentle rhythm, like rainfall or waves on a distant shore. The cottage's atmosphere grows more peaceful as night deepens. Negative ions released by the burning beeswax, combined with aromatherapy from dried herbs, Create optimal conditions for relaxation. Your nervous system responds automatically, heart rate slowing, muscle tension easing, mind becoming calm and clear. You read about the doctrine of signatures, medieval belief that plants revealed their healing uses through their appearance. Heart-shaped leaves for heart conditions, yellow flowers for liver complaints. While not always accurate, this system encouraged careful observation, detailed knowledge of plant characteristics. The herbal's final pages describe integration, how healing happens not through single herbs, but through combinations, synergistic effects that amplify beneficial properties. Just as this cottage combines elements, stone and wood, candlelight and moonlight, to create perfect harmony. Your eyelids grow heavy as the ancient wisdom flows through you. Centuries of healing knowledge, accumulated through careful observation, patient experimentation, loving care for human suffering. The cottage holds you gently, its stone walls radiating warmth and protection. The candle flame grows smaller, its light softening, as beeswax continues its ancient transformation. Light becomes warmth, becomes peace. The herbal's pages seem to whisper their secrets, encouraging deep, restorative rest. You drift peacefully, surrounded by the accumulated wisdom of centuries, carried gently into sleep by the loving hands of countless healers who dedicated their lives to easing suffering, promoting peace, encouraging the natural healing that comes with true, deep, restful sleep. Chapter 3: Gathering Dawn Herbs in the Misty Meadow. You wake before sunrise, drawn by an ancient calling to walk among the dew-kissed meadows. The cottage door opens silently on well-oiled hinges, revealing a world transformed by morning mist. Every blade of grass pearled with moisture, every spider's web outlined in silver droplets. Your bare feet touch the cool stone path, the flagstones slick with dew, worn smooth by centuries of dawn pilgrims. Medieval herbalists knew this hour as the blessed time, when plant essences concentrate in leaves and flowers, when healing properties reach their daily peak. The meadow stretches before you like a sea of green, punctuated by islands of wildflowers, each variety positioned exactly where soil conditions, moisture levels, and light exposure create perfect growing conditions. This meadow has been managed for over 800 years, using techniques that work with natural systems rather than against them. Chamomile dots the grass like fallen stars, its tiny white petals, delicate yellow centers, releasing apple sweet fragrance when brushed by your passage. The German word Camilla means ground apple, describing the scent that Roman physicians valued for its calming properties. Modern analysis confirms these flowers contain compounds that bind to the same brain receptors as anti-anxiety medications. A wicker basket woven from willow branches hangs from your arm. The basket's maker, following traditions unchanged since Celtic times, selected each branch for flexibility and strength. The weaving pattern allows air circulation, preventing gathered herbs from heating up which could destroy their delicate essential oils. Morning mist rises from the meadow, created when warm earth meets cool air, the same process that forms clouds at higher altitudes. Each droplet contains moisture drawn up by plant roots, processed through leaves, then released as pure water vapor. You breathe in this natural distillation, feeling your lungs expand with clean, oxygenated air. You kneel beside a patch of wild thyme, its tiny purple flowers clustered on stems that creep close to earth. This humble plant provided antiseptic healing before modern medicine. Its name derives from the Greek word for courage, because soldiers would bathe in thyme-scented water before battle. The essential oils it contains are still used to purify air, calm nervous systems. The meadow slopes gently toward a small stream, its waters reflecting the pearl-gray sky. The stream follows a course carved over millennia, meandering naturally to prevent erosion. Create pools where aquatic plants can flourish. Medieval monks understood these principles, designing monastery gardens that worked with water's natural tendencies. Meadowsweet grows along the stream banks, its creamy white flower heads releasing a fragrance like honey and almonds. This plant contains the compounds from which aspirin was first derived. Ancient Celtic peoples considered it sacred, one of the 3 most holy herbs, strewing it on floors during ceremonies, filling halls with its sweet, pain-relieving perfume. Your hands move gently among the plants, selecting only what you need, leaving enough for regeneration. This principle, known to indigenous peoples worldwide, ensures that healing plants remain abundant, available for future generations. Each plant you harvest is thanked, acknowledged as a partner in the ancient dance of healing. A skylark rises from the grass nearby, its song cascading down like liquid gold. These birds have sung over this meadow for thousands of years, their music inspiring poets, composers, anyone who stops to listen. The lark's song triggers release of endorphins in human brains, natural opiates that reduce pain, increase feelings of well-being. Lavender grows in purple ribbons, where the soil drains quickly. These plants, descendants of varieties brought by Roman legions, have adapted to local conditions, developing their own unique fragrance profile. The essential oils concentrated in flower spikes reach peak potency just as morning dew begins to evaporate. You notice how each plant occupies its perfect niche. Moisture-loving mint near the stream, drought-tolerant rosemary on higher ground, sun-seeking calendula in open spaces. This ecological wisdom, developed over millions of years, creates communities where each species supports the others, where diversity equals stability. The mist begins to lift, revealing more of the meadow's inhabitants. Yellow dock with its tall seed spikes, once used to treat iron deficiency. Plantain with its ribbed leaves, called white man's footprint by Native Americans, because it followed European settlers. Both plants now confirmed by modern science to contain valuable healing compounds. A small chapel sits at the meadow's eastern edge, built by Benedictine monks in the 12th century. Its simple stone walls designed to complement, not dominate, the natural landscape. The monks who built this sanctuary understood that healing happens best in places of beauty and peace, where human architecture honors the sacred geometry found in nature. Wild roses cascade over the chapel's walls. Their single-petal blooms, as ancestors of all cultivated roses, release fragrance that intensifies with morning warmth. Rose hips, forming on spent flowers, contain more vitamin C than citrus fruits. These same rose bushes provided winter nutrition for medieval villagers through long, cold months. You gather rose petals, still damp with dew, their silken texture cool against your palms. Ancient Persians discovered that roses picked at dawn retain maximum fragrance when dried. The essential oils that create roses' distinctive scent also promote emotional balance, reduce stress hormones, encourage peaceful sleep. The chapel's bell tower rises modestly above surrounding trees, its bronze bell cast in the 13th century, tuned to frequencies that promote meditation. The bell ringer, a tradition passed down through village families, knows that different tones serve different purposes. Morning peals to awaken, evening tolls to encourage rest. Comfrey grows in the chapel's shadow, its broad leaves containing compounds that accelerate healing. Medieval names for this plant, knitbone and bruisewort, describe its traditional uses. Modern research confirms that comfrey contains allantoin, a substance that promotes cell regeneration, tissue repair. The monks who planted it here understood its value for treating injuries. The small cemetery adjoins the chapel, its weathered headstones marking generations of village inhabitants. Many stones are carved with symbols of herbs, roses for remembrance, rosemary for faithfulness, ivy for eternal life. These symbols, chosen by families, reflect deep understanding of plant meanings, connections between earthly healing and spiritual comfort. You notice how the cemetery has become a wildlife sanctuary. Old headstones providing perches for birds, spaces between graves allowing wildflowers to flourish, death and life intermingling, creating beauty from loss, the natural cycle that herbs embody, dying back each winter, returning each spring with renewed vitality. Elderflower clusters hang heavy with morning dew, their creamy white blooms releasing intoxicating fragrance. Elder trees were considered sacred by Celtic druids, believed to be guardians of the threshold between the world of the living and the realm of spirits. Elderflower's natural compounds boost immune function, fight inflammation. The stream's gentle babbling creates a natural soundtrack, water flowing over smooth stones, worn round by centuries of current. This sound, in the frequency range of 40 to 80 hertz, naturally synchronizes with human brainwaves, encouraging the relaxed alertness, perfect for gathering herbs, connecting with natural rhythms. Wild strawberry plants spread across the meadow floor, their white flowers, 3-part leaves, and tiny red fruits, providing food for countless creatures. The leaves, when dried properly, make a tea rich in vitamins, minerals, natural compounds that support digestive health. Medieval herbalists called strawberry leaves the mother's friend. You pause beside a patch of self-heal, its purple flower spikes rising above rosettes of leaves. This humble plant's Latin name, Prunella vulgaris, means common little healer. Traditional Chinese medicine has used it for centuries. Modern studies show it contains powerful antioxidants, compounds that protect cells from damage. The meadow's ecosystem represents perfect balance, predators and prey, producers and consumers, decomposers recycling nutrients. No waste exists in this system. Everything serves a purpose. This principle guided medieval herbalists who understood that healing happens through restoring balance, supporting the body's natural wisdom. Morning light begins to filter through lifting mist, creating cathedral beams that illuminate dancing insects. These tiny creatures, often dismissed as pests, play crucial roles in pollination, decomposition, nutrient cycling. Their presence indicates healthy soil, clean water, air free from harmful chemicals. You gather calendula petals, their orange and yellow colors seeming to capture sunshine. These flowers, sacred to ancient Egyptians, who associated them with solar energy, contain compounds that heal wounds, reduce inflammation, protect skin from damage. Their petals, when dried, retain healing properties for years. The wicker basket fills slowly, each herb placed carefully, avoiding compression that might bruise delicate leaves. This mindful harvesting, practiced by traditional healers worldwide, ensures maximum potency, shows respect for the plant's gift, creates a meditative rhythm that calms both gatherer and gathered. A barn owl calls from the chapel's bell tower, its voice soft and hollow, like wind through ancient trees. These nocturnal hunters have lived alongside humans for millennia. Their presence considered good luck. Their silent flight, made possible by specially adapted feathers, allows them to hunt without disturbing the meadow's peaceful atmosphere. Wild mint spreads along the stream banks, its runners creating dense mats that prevent erosion while filtering runoff. The plant's natural oils, concentrated in leaves and stems, provide cooling relief, aid digestion, calm upset stomachs. Ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans all valued mint's healing properties. You notice how morning dew magnifies each detail. Water droplets acting as tiny lenses, revealing intricate patterns in leaf veins, flower petals, seed structures. This enhanced vision, caused by optical refraction, allows you to see beauty normally invisible, to appreciate the incredible complexity hidden within simple plants. The meadow's fragrance grows stronger as mist lifts, releasing concentrated essences into warming air. This natural aromatherapy, created by dozens of plant species, influences your nervous system directly, bypassing conscious thought, triggering memories of peace, safety, connection to nature's healing power. Ancient oak trees border the meadow, their massive trunks supporting ecosystems of mosses, lichens, insects, birds. These trees began growing during medieval times, have witnessed countless herb gatherers walking these same paths, collecting the same healing plants. Their presence creates continuity, connection across centuries. You gather the last few herbs as morning light strengthens. Each plant carefully selected, gratefully received. The basket now holds a pharmacopoeia, medicines created not in laboratories, but in the patient workshop of soil, rain, sunshine, time. These simple plants contain complex chemistry, evolved over millions of years to heal and protect. The chapel bell chimes softly, calling monks to morning prayers. Its bronze voice, carrying across water and meadow, has marked this hour for 800 years. The sound seems to bless your gathering, acknowledging the sacred nature of healing work, the holy partnership between human need and plant generosity. Your bare feet, now wet with dew, carry you slowly back toward the cottage. Each step deliberate, mindful. The cool moisture between your toes connects you directly with Earth's life force, grounding you in the present moment. This perfect morning, this blessed gathering, the meadow's mist continues lifting, revealing distant hills, purple with morning haze. This landscape, shaped by ice and water, wind and time, has provided healing herbs to countless generations. Each plant you carry connects you with that ancient chain of herbalists and healers, wisdom keepers and plant friends. Your breathing has slowed to match the meadow's rhythm. Deep inhalations of herb-scented air, long exhalations releasing any remaining tension. The negative ions generated by moving water, the essential oils released by morning-warmed plants, work together to balance your nervous system, promote deep relaxation. As you approach the cottage, morning light catches the dew on your harvest. Each droplet a tiny prism, breaking sunlight into rainbow fragments. These microscopic jewels, soon to evaporate into memory, remind you that beauty and healing, like morning mist, are gifts to be received with gratitude and wonder. Your eyelids grow heavy with peaceful satisfaction. The morning's gathering complete, herbs safely harvested, their healing potential preserved. You drift toward the cottage, toward rest, carried by the meadow's ancient blessing, surrounded by the fragrant promise of nature's endless, generous, healing embrace. You sink gently into sleep, cradled by morning mist, blessed by herb-scented air. Your dreams filled with the soft sounds of water over stone, of larks singing, of wind through grass. Deep, restorative sleep that heals like the gentlest, most patient herb. Chapter 4: Distilling Sacred Waters by Moonlight. You wake to find moonbeams streaming through the cottage windows, illuminating an ancient copper still, its curves gleaming like liquid silver in the ethereal light. The distillation apparatus, crafted by Arab alchemists centuries ago, represents the marriage of art and science, beauty and function in perfect harmony. The still's copper surfaces bear the patina of countless distillations, green and blue oxidation patterns creating abstract art where metal has breathed with moisture and time. Copper was chosen by ancient alchemists not merely for beauty, but for its unique properties. The metal's ions naturally purify water, eliminate harmful bacteria, while allowing beneficial compounds to pass through unchanged. A gentle flame flickers beneath the still's rounded base, fed by beeswax candles arranged in careful configuration. Their warm light dances across hammered copper, creating moving patterns that seem alive, hypnotic. The flame's temperature, precisely controlled through candle placement, ensures that delicate plant essences never overheat, never lose their healing properties. Rose petals float in the still's glass chamber, their deep crimson color slowly fading as essential oils separate from plant matter. This process, known as hydrodistillation, was perfected by Persian physicians in the 10th century. The same technique that created the world's first rose water for the Caliph's palace gardens in ancient Baghdad. Steam rises slowly from heated water, carrying with it the invisible essence of roses. This vapor, laden with aromatic compounds, travels through copper coils, cooled by night air, condensing back to liquid, but transformed, concentrated, potent with healing power. The ancient symbol of transformation, matter-changing state, while retaining its essential nature. You lean closer to observe the process. The still's glass components, hand-blown by Venetian masters, allow you to watch the sacred alchemy. Steam swirling, droplets forming, precious liquid collecting, drop by precious drop, in the receiving vessel. Each droplet, a miracle of chemistry, plant essences suspended in pure water. The cottage's stone walls, 2 feet thick, maintain perfect temperature. The thermal mass of limestone, slowly releasing the day's accumulated warmth, creates ideal conditions for distillation. Medieval alchemists chose locations like this, understanding that steady temperatures, consistent conditions, produce superior results. A collection of glass vessels, each shaped for specific purposes, lines the wooden shelves. Receiving flasks with long necks, separation funnels with precise graduations, measuring cylinders marked in ancient units, each piece crafted by artisans who understood that form follows function, that beauty serves purpose in the sacred work of healing. The rose water, slowly accumulating, carries within it compounds that calm anxiety, reduce inflammation, promote cellular healing. Modern aromatherapy has rediscovered what Persian physicians knew, that rose essence affects the limbic system, directly influencing emotions and memory, stress response and sleep patterns. Lavender stems hang in bundles from the cottage's rafters. Their purple flowers, dried at peak potency, await their turn in the copper still. French lavender, English lavender, Spanish lavender, each variety contributing unique compounds to the distilled essence that will emerge like liquid tranquility. The still's design, based on principles discovered by Arab alchemists in medieval Spain, incorporates features that maximize efficiency, minimize waste. The curved swan neck allows vapor to rise, then gently descend, preventing backflow, ensuring pure distillate. The proportions, calculated through centuries of patient experimentation. A leather-bound journal lies open beside the still, its pages filled with distillation records dating back 3 centuries. Each entry carefully documenting plant materials used, temperatures maintained, yield obtained, quality achieved. This accumulated wisdom guides modern practice, connects present work with ancient knowledge. The moonlight, streaming through diamond-paned windows, creates patterns on the copper surface. Geometric shadows, shifting and changing as clouds pass across the moon's face. This natural illumination, preferred by traditional distillers, provides light without the heat that might disturb delicate temperature balance. You notice the rhythmic sound of droplets falling into the collection vessel. Like a water clock marking time with liquid music, this gentle percussion creates a meditative rhythm, encouraging deep breathing, relaxed awareness, the perfect state of mind for witnessing transformation and healing. The copper still's base rests on a foundation of river stones, each stone carefully selected for its heat retention, thermal conductivity. These stones, worn smooth by centuries of water flow, provide stable support while conducting heat evenly and gently throughout the distillation process. Essential oil begins to separate from rosewater, forming a thin layer that glistens like liquid gold on the distillate's surface. This precious substance, concentrated essence of thousands of rose petals, contains compounds so potent that a single drop can influence an entire room's atmosphere. The cottage's thick walls also serve as sound barriers, muffling any noise from the outside world, creating perfect silence, broken only by the gentle bubbling of heated water, the soft drip of condensing steam. These subtle sounds, like nature's lullaby, encourage deep relaxation, meditative awareness. A small hourglass sits beside the still, its sand flowing steadily, marking time intervals for different stages of distillation. Medieval alchemists developed precise timing, understanding that rushing the natural process reduces quality, damages delicate compounds. Time itself becomes ingredient in the healing essence. The receiving vessel slowly fills with rose-scented water, clear as crystal, yet holding within the concentrated life force of countless petals. This liquid, precious beyond measure, will retain its potency for years to come, a treasury of healing compounds, preserved through ancient artistry. You breathe deeply, inhaling vapors that escape the still, rose essence mixing with night air, creating natural aromatherapy that immediately affects your nervous system, slowing heart rate, deepening breath, releasing muscle tension, the same response that made rosewater precious to ancient healers. The copper develops new patina patterns as moisture condenses, then evaporates from its surface. These oxidation designs, unique as fingerprints, mark each distillation with individual character. The metal itself becomes part of the healing process, contributing trace minerals that enhance the final product's potency. A collection of dried herbs awaits processing. Chamomile flowers, their centers golden, petals white as snow. Peppermint leaves, still green despite careful drying. Each plant represents weeks of patient cultivation, careful harvesting, proper preparation, now ready for transformation into healing essence. The flame beneath burns with steady consistency, neither too hot, which would scorch delicate compounds, nor too cool, which would prevent proper extraction. This balance, achieved through centuries of experimentation, requires constant attention, mindful presence, meditative awareness. Rose petals gradually surrender their essential oils to the heated water. This process mirrors nature's cycle of growth and decay, transformation and renewal, death becoming life, matter changing form, while essence remains, eternal and unchanged. The alchemical symbol of spiritual transformation. The still's copper coils spiraled downward like DNA helixes or nautilus shells, following patterns found throughout nature, golden ratio proportions that please the eye, calm the mind. These mathematical relationships, discovered by ancient Greeks, applied by medieval craftsmen, create harmony between function and beauty. Steam continues rising, carrying aromatic molecules, too small to see, yet powerful enough to influence human consciousness. Brain chemistry, emotional states, this invisible transfer from plant to person represents the mystery at healing's heart, the unexplained bridge between matter and spirit. A small brazier glows in the corner, burning frankincense resin. Its smoke spiraling upward adds another layer to the cottage's atmosphere. Frankincense, traded for centuries along ancient routes, connecting distant lands through shared appreciation for sacred aromatics, healing incense. The rosewater's fragrance grows stronger as distillation continues, each droplet more concentrated than the last. This increasing potency mirrors the spiritual journey, gradual refinement, purification, concentration of healing intention, the physical process reflecting inner transformation. Moonbeams shift across the copper surface as Earth turns relative to celestial bodies. This cosmic dance influences tides, plant growth, human emotions, sleep cycles. The same forces that draw oceans toward lunar pull affect the water within our bodies, within the still, connecting all through gravitational harmony. You observe the hypnotic rhythm of transformation, steam rising, vapor cooling, liquid forming, the eternal cycle that shapes mountains, fills rivers, creates weather, all condensed into this small copper vessel where healing happens through patient observation of natural processes. The collection vessel now holds several ounces of pure rosewater, each drop containing compounds that promote healing, reduce inflammation, calm anxiety, encourage peaceful sleep. This liquid treasure, created through ancient wisdom, applied with modern precision. A wooden rack holds glass bottles, waiting to receive finished distillates. Each bottle carefully sterilized with boiling water, then dried with clean linen. Medieval techniques, still superior to modern alternatives for preserving delicate essences without contamination. The copper still represents technology at its finest. Simple principles perfectly applied, creating tools that serve healing without destroying the substances they process. No electricity required, no complex machinery, just fire, water, copper, and time. The elements working together in ancient harmony. Rose petals, now pale and exhausted, have given up their precious essence to the healing waters. This sacrifice reminds you of nature's generosity, plants offering their life force for human healing, a gift that deserves gratitude, respect, and careful stewardship. The distillation nears completion, final drops condensing slowly in the cooling coils. These last essences, often most potent, containing compounds that require sustained heat to release from plant matter. Patience rewarded with liquid gold, precious beyond measure. Your eyelids grow heavy as rose-scented vapors surround you like gentle embrace. The cottage fills with healing atmosphere. Centuries of distillation have soaked these stone walls with beneficial essences, creating sanctuary where transformation happens naturally. The moonlight continues streaming through diamond panes, illuminating this sacred work of turning flowers into medicine, plants into potions, matter into healing. The ancient art that bridges earth and heaven, body and spirit, through patient service to the sacred mystery of natural healing. You drift peacefully, surrounded by rose-scented air, copper gleaming, moonbeams dancing. The gentle rhythm of condensation becomes your lullaby, carrying you gently into sleep, as deep and pure as distilled waters, blessed by moonlight, transformed by ancient wisdom. Chapter 5. Dawn Meditation in the Sacred Grove. You wake naturally as the first pale light touches the eastern horizon. The cottage door opens silently, revealing a path that leads through ancient woods to a grove where massive oaks have stood sentinel for over 1,000 years. The path beneath your bare feet consists of packed earth mixed with centuries of fallen leaves. This natural carpet, soft and springy, provides perfect cushioning while allowing you to feel connected directly to the earth, each step grounding you in the present moment. Morning mist drifts between tree trunks like sacred incense. This natural phenomenon, created when cool night air meets warming earth, produces negative ions that naturally balance human brain chemistry, reducing stress hormones, promoting deep calm. The sacred grove opens before you, a perfect circle of ancient oaks, their massive trunks requiring 3 people arms outstretched to encompass. These trees, planted by Celtic druids 2 millennia ago, have witnessed countless generations of seekers coming here for peace and wisdom. In the grove's center, a small stone circle marks the meditation space, each stone carefully placed according to astronomical alignments. The arrangement mirrors constellations, visible at certain times of year, connecting earthly practice with cosmic rhythms, heaven with earth. You settle onto the largest stone worn smooth by countless sitters. Its surface retains warmth from yesterday's sunshine, while remaining cool enough to provide gentle grounding. This thermal balance helps regulate your body temperature, encouraging deep, restful meditation. The oak trees form natural walls that filter outside sounds while amplifying subtle forest voices. Wind through leaves, bird songs, insect hums, small creatures moving through undergrowth. This acoustic environment naturally entrains brainwaves to alpha and theta frequencies. Ancient druids chose oak groves for their electromagnetic properties. Large trees generate weak electrical fields that interact with human bioelectric systems. These subtle energies, too weak to harm, yet strong enough to influence nervous system, brainwave patterns. The grove's canopy filters morning light, creating cathedral beams that shift and dance as leaves move. This dappled illumination provides perfect visual conditions. For meditation, bright enough to maintain alertness, yet soft enough to prevent eye strain. You close your eyes and listen to the forest, awakening. Songbirds beginning their dawn chorus, each species singing at precisely timed intervals. This natural symphony follows patterns evolved over millions of years, designed to minimize competition while maximizing territorial communication. Your breathing naturally deepens, matching rhythms observed in ancient texts. 4 counts breathing in, 4 counts holding, 4 counts breathing out, 4 counts holding. This pattern, known to yogis and monks, optimally oxygenates blood while calming nervous system. The stone beneath you contains crystals formed millions of years ago. These mineral structures create subtle energetic fields that interact with human electromagnetic systems. Ancient peoples worldwide recognize certain stones and locations as particularly conducive to healing and meditation. Morning air carries scents of moss and decomposing leaves. This rich aroma results from countless organisms breaking down organic matter, releasing nutrients back to soil. The cycle of death and renewal made manifest through fragrance. Shafts of sunlight begin penetrating the canopy, illuminating particles of pollen and spores floating in morning air. These microscopic life forms represent potential future forests, carried on gentle breezes to distant growing places. The grove's acoustics create natural sound meditation. Every rustle magnified and clarified by the circular arrangement of massive trunks. This amplification allows you to hear your own heartbeat, breathing, the subtle sounds of living. Ancient oaks continue their life processes around you, roots drawing water and minerals from deep earth, leaves conducting photosynthesis, converting sunlight to sugar, bark protecting inner cambium, where growth happens slowly but persistently. Shafts of sunlight begin penetrating the canopy, illuminating particles of pollen and spores floating in morning air. These microscopic life forms represent potential future forests, carried on gentle breezes to distant growing places. The grove's acoustics create natural sound meditation. Every rustle magnified and clarified by the circular arrangement of massive trunks. This amplification allows you to hear your own heartbeat, breathing, the subtle sounds of living. Ancient oaks continue their life processes around you, roots drawing water and minerals from deep earth, leaves conducting photosynthesis, converting sunlight to sugar, bark protecting inner cambium, where growth happens slowly but persistently. You feel yourself settling deeper into stillness, muscle tension releasing, as forest atmosphere works its ancient magic. Your nervous system responding to environmental cues that signal safety, peace, connection to something larger than self. The meditation stone supports your spine naturally. Its shape, worn by weather and countless sitters, provides perfect ergonomic support, allowing muscles to relax completely, while maintaining alert awareness. The ideal position for deep contemplative practice. Forest creatures begin their morning activities. A red squirrel chatters briefly, then returns to gathering acorns. Small birds hop through undergrowth, searching for insects and seeds. Their presence indicates healthy ecosystem, balanced food chains. The grove's silence has quality different from mere absence of sound. This is living silence, pregnant with possibility, filled with subtle frequencies that nurture rather than deaden consciousness. Sacred silence that heals. Your awareness expands beyond personal boundaries, sensing connection to trees, to earth, to sky. This experience, described by mystics and scientists alike, reflects actual energetic interconnection between living systems, the field of consciousness that underlies apparent separation. Ancient Druids practiced tree meditation, understanding that these giants serve as natural antennas, connecting earth energies with cosmic forces. Modern research confirms trees influence local weather, electromagnetic fields, atmospheric chemistry. The grove's microclimate differs markedly from surrounding forest. Temperature, humidity, air pressure, all modified by the circular arrangement of massive organisms. This creates optimal conditions for human nervous system healing. Sunlight continues strengthening, yet remains filtered by countless leaves, creating ever-changing patterns of light and shadow on ground around you. This natural light therapy regulates circadian rhythms, promotes healthy sleep cycles. You notice how breathing has become effortless, automatic, perfectly synchronized with natural rhythms surrounding you. Wind patterns, bird songs, even your heartbeat seem to pulse together in unified meditation. The ancient stones beneath and around you contain minerals that naturally emit beneficial frequencies. Quartz crystals embedded in granite generate subtle electrical pulses that research shows can influence brainwave patterns, promoting deep states of relaxation. Forest air, rich with oxygen produced by photosynthesis, fills your lungs with life-giving molecules. Each breath literally life-giving, as plants generously share their metabolic products with animal life forms. The grove pulses gently with life energy, sap rising in tree trunks, root systems exchanging nutrients through underground fungal networks, mycorrhizal connections linking individual trees into forest community consciousness. Your meditation deepens naturally as forest atmosphere supports states of awareness that mystics have sought for centuries. This natural cathedral provides perfect conditions for experiencing unity, connection, peace that passes understanding. Ancient wisdom keepers knew that certain locations naturally facilitate expanded awareness. These sacred sites, chosen for energetic properties that modern science is only thoroughly beginning to understand and measure. The grove's protective circle creates sanctuary where healing happens naturally. Your nervous system, recognizing safety signals, shifts into parasympathetic mode, the biological state where repair, regeneration, deep rest become possible. Morning progresses, yet time seems suspended in this sacred space. Minutes or hours might pass without disturbing the perfect stillness that has settled over grove and consciousness. time itself becoming irrelevant. The meditation stone seems to pulse gently beneath you. Whether actual vibration or perceptual shift matters little. The sensation connects you directly with Earth's heartbeat, magnetic field, the subtle energies that sustain all life. Ancient oaks have witnessed countless souls finding peace in this sacred circle. Their rings contain memories of droughts and plenty, storms weathered, seasons cycling, the wisdom of patience, endurance, connection to eternal rhythms. Your awareness rests peacefully in perfect balance, alert yet relaxed, present yet expanded, individual yet connected. This state that meditation masters describe comes naturally here in nature's perfect classroom. Forest sounds create subtle sound bath that entrains brainwaves to healing frequencies. Research confirms that natural sounds promote alpha and theta waves associated with deep relaxation, creativity, spiritual experience. The grove breathes around you, trees inhaling carbon dioxide, exhaling oxygen in perfect reciprocity with animal life. This ancient partnership makes complex life possible on Earth. You participate in this sacred exchange with every breath. Light continues, shifting as sun rises higher, yet remains gentle, filtered, creating natural light therapy that supports healthy brain chemistry. Natural light exposure regulates melatonin production, ensuring deep sleep when darkness returns. Your body feels weightless, yet perfectly supported by stone and earth, gravity holding you gently rather than heavily. This sensation reflects deep muscular relaxation, complete nervous system calm, the sacred grove's energy field pulsing gently with accumulated peace from centuries of meditation, prayer, contemplation. This stored healing energy, available to anyone who enters with open heart, receptive awareness. Ancient Druids understood that sacred sites develop energetic properties through repeated spiritual practice. Modern research confirms that meditation groups create measurable changes in local electromagnetic fields. Your eyelids grow heavy with perfect contentment. The grove cradles you in its ancient arms. Centuries of callers have found peace here. Their gratitude blessing presence surrounds you like invisible embrace. The stone circle holds you gently as meditation transforms into natural sleep. The transition seamless, peaceful, supported by forest's healing atmosphere. Ancient wisdom, modern, in Oak Grove's timeless sanctuary. You drift into sleep that heals body and soul, surrounded by guardians who have stood watch for millennia, protected by Earth's own energy, blessed by countless generations of seekers who found in this sacred grove the peace that heals all wounds. Your dreams will filled with rustling leaves, gentle sunlight, ancient wisdom, whispered by oak trees who remember when world was young. Deep, restorative sleep that connects you with eternal rhythms of earth and sky, and the sacred silence that holds all things in perfect peace. The end.